everyone, and welcome to this Read, Listen, Watch from Roofers Coffee Shop. My name is Karen Edwards, and today's episode, we are going to be talking about growing your business with metal and how you can win with Roofing Passport. And joining me for today's conversation are our friends from Sherwin-Williams, Junny Lee and Heather McGinnis. We'll get to introductions in just a second, but before we do, I want to share a little bit of housekeeping. This webinar is being recorded, and it will be available within 1 to 2 days on Roofers Coffee Shop under the Read, Listen, Watch navigation. So if you are watching this today and you want to be sure to share this with someone on your team, let them know that it is accessible within 1 to 2 days, and you'll be able to watch it on demand at your leisure. We will be doing questions and answers throughout the presentation. So the chat is open. If you have a question, feel free to drop it in there, or you can use the Q&A feature on Zoom, and we'll make sure that we get to your question during this conversation. All righty. Well, we're glad you're here today, and let's get started with introductions of our guests. Junny, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and what you do there at Sherwin-Williams.
Absolutely. Thank you, Karen. My name is Junny Lee. I'm based out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. I am the MetalVue Market Segment Manager within the Coil Coatings Division at Sherwin-Williams. I've been with the company going on 11 years. I was originally part of the Valspar acquisition. Previous to joining Coil, my background was in sourcing, operations, supply chain.
Oh, well, thanks for being here today.
Of course.
All right, Heather, please introduce yourself. Tell us about you.
Thanks, Karen. Heather McGinnis. I have been in the coil coatings industry for over 30 years. I currently reside in Dallas, Texas. I am part of the MetalVue program, and specifically the sales contractor side of the program. I work to get contractors onboarded with Roofing Passport, which is our software that we're going to talk about today. Have had numerous roles throughout the years in my career, but it's all been in coil coating. Started out with a company called Lilly Industries that was based out of Indianapolis. Then, of course, was part of the Valspar acquisition and then part of the Sherwin acquisition. But all 30 years have been in coil coating. So I like to say I'm a jack of all trades and master of none.
I like that. Well, I want to talk about the growth of metal roofing, but before I do that, I want one of you, and you can decide who this is going to be, to just explain what coil coatings are.
So coil coatings are factory applied baked on finishes. A lot of people, when they hear paints or coatings, especially associated with Sherwin-Williams, they immediately jump to what we call house paint. So interior kind of paints, wood stains, varnishes, that kind of thing. So a coil coating is a paint or a coating that is manufactured in a manufacturing facility. It is then shipped to a coil coating line. So at the coil coating line, what they do is they take the steel or the aluminum, whatever the substrate is, they process it, they clean it, they pre-treat it. Then they apply a primer to the metal, and then they apply the top coat. And that's what you'll hear us refer to coil coatings as a top coat. So then it goes through a 450 to 500 degree oven for a specific length of time. Dwell time is what that's called. And then the length of the ovens vary depending on the manufacturing facility. But a lot of people get it confused because they read all these great things about coil coatings, and especially with roofing, and they think they can go out and repaint or recoat their metal roof with the product that Sherwin provides, either a Fluorapon or a Weather Excel. But that's not the case. It has to come to the job site already pre-coated. And we have to stress the fact that it is a factory applied baked on finish, and it will never cure if you try to brush it on or roll it on or spray it on.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking that curveball. We didn't talk about that beforehand, but I thought, we always say coil coatings, and especially for somebody that maybe isn't in the metal industry or metal roofing industry,
Right.
They may not know what that is. And so I figured no one better than the person who has worked in that industry 30 years. Thank you, Heather.
You're welcome.
Okay. So, Junny, let's talk a little bit about the growth of metal roofing and what you're seeing overall, especially when it comes to residential. I know it's growing in commercial too,
Right.
but let's start with that.
No, absolutely. At the residential level, so the biggest concern is how durable and resilient is metal compared to the regular or the more common material out there today, right? And what we're learning more about metal, especially with protecting metal with the coating on it, is it's very durable and a resilient product. It's based on a region, for example, Sherwin-Williams, we have a location out of Fort Myers where we've tested decades old panels that we've coated. And the point of all that is to ensure that our coating withstands the test of time, especially in a very harsh environment such as a coastal area. So a lot of what's fueling growth is, depending on the region, you can factor in sustainability. That's a big push, right? When you start looking into energy savings, a Sherwin-Williams coated metal roof does have solar reflective capability, thermal events capability, all that measured in the SRI, or the solar reflectance index. But then a lot of the drivers are also based on the ability to withstand hailstorms, right? Wind uplift, and all those types of impact.
Fire, right? Yeah,
Fire. Even. Yes, thank you,
Yeah.
Karen. Fire, even non-combustible, right? We've tested all that. Even metal coated with Sherwin-Williams coatings meets the highest rating when it comes to non-combustion. So it's a very good, strong product that will protect homes.
Yeah. Yeah. And the lifespan too.
Mhm.
When you compare, let's talk, first of all, we were chatting a little bit before here, before we started the webinar, I should say. And we said, most of the residential roofing market, the dominating material is asphalt shingles, but
Right.
metal's growing, right? We're seeing it grow to, we looked at some numbers beforehand, about 20%.
Right.
Of the market. And that's only going to continue to grow. And one of the reasons is because, as you mentioned, energy savings, durability, resiliency, but it lasts a long time, right? When you compare it to the life of an asphalt roof. So that's very appealing to a lot of people who don't want to worry about their roof more than maybe one time in their lifetime, right?
No, you're spot on. And I think that's a really good point, right? I mean, we know that a metal roof is 2, 3, maybe 4 times longer than an asphalt, the lifespan of an asphalt roof. And then also when you're starting to see all the color options or the new technology coming out on the metal side, I think folks are starting to get a little intrigued by what else is out there today.
Yeah, for sure. So that's a great transition. And Heather, maybe you can get us started here on why contractors should consider offering metal. And you're working with contractors all the time who are getting into this
Right.
space. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So some good points have already been brought up. Longevity and performance, of course, are two of the main driving factors in this. A steel roof is going to outlast an asphalt roof every time. There are all kinds of performance things that goes into it that Judy mentioned, as far as the testing and stuff that we undergo with all of our coatings as they relate to, sustainability and solar reflectivity and all the things that are important to the environment. And then the market demand, of course, is growing. Personally, I am currently in the process of building a barn dominium. So not just a metal roof going on my new home, but a metal home as well. So there were a lot of driving factors for me choosing that medium over other ones, over brick, over stone, over stucco. The durability, the performance, the longevity, and then the final thing is the aesthetics. I was able to create my own color combinations. I was able to pick and choose exactly what I wanted. As a homeowner and as someone who's currently under construction, I might not have chosen the most available colors. So I picked what I want. I found a supplier that was able to see my vision and able to provide the product. So aesthetics are very important. I'm going with a colony green facade with a burnished slate roof. The facade will be a board and batten type of panel, and then the roof will be standing seam. So the aesthetics were very important to me. This is my forever home. It is in the craftsman style. So I was able to pick the color combination that I wanted that reflects that personality. So we're starting to see that, especially in Texas, where I live, a lot of it happening in what we want to call the Ohio River Valley, around the Tennessee area, North Carolina, South Carolina, lake areas, mountain areas, where metal homes are becoming really, advantageous for a lot of different reasons, aesthetics being one of them. So metal roofing just goes hand in hand with that. We have a lot of custom colors that you're able to get. Let's face it, an asphalt shingle comes in gray, dark gray, brown, light brown, black, light black. Where if you truly want a metal roof in any kind of odd off color, you can get it. It's attainable. There are a lot of places that have standard stock colors, but your palette is so much more aesthetically pleasing when you choose metal over asphalt.
Yeah, that's for sure. And we've done podcasts with your color experts that talk about the trends and the colors and how these colors are
Right.
decided. And it's amazing the things that, and there, you could have metal that mimics nature.
Yep.
So there's a lot of things that are driving this trend. There's a lot of, HGTV, the DIY channels that
Yep.
show the beauty of things that can be done with metal. So if you are not offering that as a contractor, you're missing out on a lot of potential. So let's keep
Correct.
talking about that potential. And Heather, maybe you can talk a little bit about how metal does increase business.
Well, it increases business. I mean, the first thing that you're going to see is if you are upselling metal along with your asphalt, we're never going to replace asphalt, right? We want to gain market share to put more paint and more coatings on roofing. We're not going to replace asphalt. But what we want is somebody to have the ability to sell and upsell metal along with asphalt. And the best thing for a contractor is that it's strong margins. It's harder to sell upfront because of the cost involved, but when you start talking about the longevity and how long it lasts compared to asphalt, the sustainability in it, a metal roof is 100% recyclable, where every asphalt shingle ends up in a landfill. So when you can start speaking to those kind of things in front of your homeowner, the ability for them to accept the cost up front becomes more and more reasonable, right? And then your margins are just way better on a metal roof than they are on a asphalt roof. The competitive edge would come along with just our brand. We're Sherwin-Williams. We're the #1 coatings brand in the world, right? We're the most recognized. Everybody knows who Sherwin-Williams is in some form, shape, or fashion. We might have to explain that we're a coatings company, we're a coil coatings company, and not just a house paint company, but it's still the brand. So we have the competitive edge as far as that goes, being able to leave behind any kind of door knocker information, sell sheets that a contractor could want. We help give that competitive edge as far as going out and recruiting people to want a metal roof and want to be able to have that accessibility to that. And then the long-term growth. You mentioned before that we are seeing an increase of about 1% every year in the demand for metal. That's not going to go away. It's only going to keep increasing. We looked at numbers before where we were 20% of the market share on residential re-roof. Well, what if we get to 25 and we bring our contractors along with us? That just means that everybody is making more money in this space, and that's what we want. That's what we want.
Yeah, yeah. And you mentioned earlier when we started off talking about the margins, you said upselling can be a little challenging because of the cost, but I want to make sure we talk about that as an investment. And I've talked to contractors that have said it's not difficult to sell metal when you explain to the homeowner that in 15 to 20 years, you're going to have to replace this asphalt shingle. And you know what the price is going to be in 15 to 20 years? Prices are always going up, right? So if you make that investment in metal now, you're going to get 40, 50, plus years out of this, and you've only made that investment once. So it's all about, I think, telling that story and understanding that it truly is an investment, and that it's going to deliver that value back to that homeowner, especially if they are going to sell the house in 10, 15 years. They've got a roof that's going to last. So thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about barriers and why contractors maybe are resisting. Junny, can you get us started on this slide?
Yes, absolutely. And I think we touched on this a little bit already, right? But with conversations we've had on the contractor side as we attend trade shows, or even if anyone reaches out to us, we've kind of narrowed it down to three things. One, there's maybe a level of discomfort because of lack of training, the cost perception, the elephant in the room, or then also the uphill battle of upselling, right? But the training gaps, and I think to Heather's point, especially with Sherwin-Williams and the brand leverage that we have, this whole MetalVue thing is we've tried to, or I guess we have taken a very comprehensive approach to this, and we've identified and we are working with industry leaders in their respective space, right? So for training, we got John Sheridan Metal Resources, right? Amazing person. He provides hands-on training for anyone that is looking into understanding more on the metal side, or maybe you're diving in for the very first time. Cost perception. We have sales training. I'm sorry, we have let's jump ahead. We have sales training on the upselling portion, right? But on the cost perception, that's where we can help out. We have all the numbers, we have the research, we have the solar rating, we have the thermal emissions rating. We know what value our coatings will provide to customers, especially the contractors, right? As they go out and sell to the homeowners. So those are the three common barriers. But as an assurance, we have tackled those three concerns that contractors might have when it comes to offering metal as a service.
Yeah, it's really impressive that the extent that Sherwin-Williams has stepped up to help contractors bridge these gaps and overcome these barriers. You don't see, many industries doing that. And you guys are a leader and you've pulled together the resources and found the best of the best to help. And so that all of this then is one of the pieces of this is the roofing passport. So let's talk maybe a little bit about what roofing passport does for contractors. And then if our Wi-Fi lets us, we're going to get to look inside. Right, Heather? Get us started.
That's right. That's right. So when I started with this program, what we identified was the things that were detrimental for contractors as far as going into the home and bidding. And the thing that we heard over and over again was the fact that it was hard because it's a custom product to deliver on a bid for metal. So they could stand on the ground and look up at a roof, and just through experience and knowledge, they were able to say, okay, this is how many bundles of shingles I need. This is how many square feet this roof is. So they were able to provide a bid or an estimate right there on the spot. What they didn't have was the tool that would allow them to do metal in the same form or fashion. So they're hesitant because metal is a custom product. Once it's cut, it's cut. You can't take a bundle of metal back. You can't move it to the next job site. If you run short, you can't go out and just grab another, right? There's the perception that since it is a custom product, it makes it more difficult to bid. So what we did as a company that just wants to get another piece of metal on a roof was to say, we need to simplify this estimating process. We need to make it easy. We need to be able to compete again alongside with asphalt. So what we did is we developed a software that will ingest a blueprint, plan, or drawing. It will ingest an EagleView address, or it will ingest an XML file. And it goes and it does the math, it does the measurements for you, and it provides you with a takeoff report. And that was critical in being able to go out and bid and estimate in a timely manner for this, because you had people that were physically climbing up on the roof, taking measurements, sending those measurements back to someone in an office, sitting at a computer, them having to hand do all the math. And by the time you get that bid in hand to go back out to the person, you may have missed that opportunity. They may have decided that they had to go with asphalt because a roof is a need, not a want, right? We've heard that a couple of times over the couple of days we've been here. And it's a need, not a want. Or some other company may have beat you to it because they didn't have the backup that you had in your bidding and estimation as far as metal goes. So it provides fewer errors and delays. It's accurate, and it's an automated turnaround. So we call it a trust but verify system. We give you the bid, we give you the estimation. We have you, before any metal is cut, we would say that you trust our system, but you go up and you verify a couple of the longs, a couple of the shorts, do some measurements and make sure that what we've given you. But in order to bid and estimate what we give you, you can be within $200, which is great on a custom product. And it also allows for some streamlined project planning, because what we've seen contractors that before they ever go down a whole street, they're going to go out and they're going to sell, they're going to door knock. They can run every address that's on that street through Roofing Passport and go in hand and have side-by-side comparisons on that street to go in with an asphalt and a metal bid. So it just streamlines the whole process.
Yeah. Yeah. And I imagine that, once you've got all the details and the reports, it helps with the installation, right? Because
Absolutely.
all that information is there. I mean, how many
100%.
times do you hear that what the salespeople have done has not been communicated to the installers, has not been, so it kind of eliminates those hassles.
That is correct.
Yeah. And what's your feedback on the accuracy? You said within $200?
Within $200. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's we haven't had anything outside of that I've been made aware of in the last 2 years.
Yeah, it's amazing that the technology, how accurate and how much better. When it first came out, it was good. All the remote stuff and measurements from addresses and stuff. But I remember it used to be like, yeah, it's good, but don't, not for metal yet. And now we're just so good and so precise, and imagery is so much better that you really, like you said, trust but verify. It's within $200. That is just incredible. I love it.
Yeah, and it gets better every day, just because of the simple fact that people like, we talk about how we have ingrained the best of the best. So we use EagleView, and EagleView is different from the satellite imagery that you get, because EagleView is actually out. They're flying planes, they're flying drones, they're turning, they're taking another angle. They're doing this constantly. So the input that you have from an EagleView is much better than what you would get from a satellite image kind of use. So that's why we chose EagleView to be our partner, because of that simple fact that we feel like they're getting the most accurate, the most up-to-date data as far as roofs go.
Yeah. I think that's, we're going to hit up on MetalVue here in a minute, but, you guys really do that vetting and really find the best of the best to partner with for this stuff. So let's talk a little bit about Roofing Passport.
So when you land on the Roofing Passport page, this is the page that you're going to see. Of course, it says Sherwin-Williams Roofing Passport, because it is our software. We do own it. You would have your credentials that you would be granted from an invitation that comes from Sherwin-Williams Roofing Passport. You would sign in. We got our fingers crossed here.
Yeah, might spin for a minute. That's okay. We can talk about it. This is there's no cost to use this, right?
The only cost that it is to use this is whatever your EagleView cost you, or whatever your Roofing Works blueprint, plan, or drawing ingestion would cost you. And if you have an XML, it's a flat $15 fee. There is no cost that comes to Sherwin-Williams. We don't make a dime off of this. This is just something we wanted to do for the contractors to help get more metal up there. You would have your own account that is integrated through either EagleView or your own account that's integrated through Roofing Works, and they would bill direct. There's no money that exchanges hands between Sherwin and either one of those companies or with the contractor.
Nice.
So this is what that landing page it looks like once you get in here. I'm hoping you all can see this.
Yes.
Okay. So it's very simple. It's very intuitive. It's very user-friendly. I would click new job right here, and it's going to walk me through how to create a new job. And I would click next here. I think this is an admin page. I don't think anybody else would be able to submit a job on behalf of another user. So just ignore that part. Then we would go next. And here is what the actual page looks like, where you are inputting your information on the new job that you are submitting. And we are connected right now to what we call the general database. So this has all the general parts and pieces and panel profiles in it that we would use just in our general database. These can be customized based on the OEM. So if a contractor is working with a specific OEM, which is a metal supplier that is already part of this program, their parts and pieces would be listed in here as far as their panel profiles go. So I'm going to select this one. It is going to drop in there. It's going to tell me that it's an 18-inch panel profile that I am going to run. And then here's the 3 ways that I could get the data in here. I could use EagleView, which is by address. I could do a blueprint, plan, or drawing, which goes to Roofing Works down in Florida, or I could upload an XML file. So we're going to just go with EagleView because we're here. And I could type in, we'll do this one because I do have this one actually run already, so I'll be able to show you. And we would select the job type from this drop down. We're going to do residential re-roof. And you would select the state. This one is in Texas. And the city, it's already defaulted in there. You would put the zip code in there. If this has changed in the last 4 years, you would do that. And then we would hit locate address. I'm not going to do that because I don't want it to charge my EagleView account. But like I say, I do have this one already done. We can look at it that way. I would go back here to my job list after I have created that. And in my job list down here, it's going to tell me my jobs and the status of all those. So the one I just did was the 114 Pinnacle Club Drive in Maybank, Texas. As this walks through the process, this box here will change. It will show you that it's being generated. It will show you if there is an error. It will show you anything related to the status of this will show up here. And once it's done, this takeoff report complete will turn green and our takeoff report will show up now.
And that time turnaround there is showing about 2 hours from your created date.
It's about 2 hours. Yeah.
Wow,
it's about
that's
2
pretty
hours.
fast.
And that will vary. That will vary depending on how the data is input. It will also vary on how long it takes to get the geometry behind what we've entered. We say 24 hours. We say 24 hours. That's what we want to go to market with is 24 hours. It could be shorter. It could be 2 hours. So, but we like to say 24 hours, but still respectively, that's much better than what we were able to see happening in the industry without our tool, right? It was days.
Right.
It wasn't hours, it was days. So once the takeoff is complete, it will come back and it will show up here in your activity log. You get the takeoff report, and then there's the files that will happen. There will be the export, the XML export. There is the takeoff report. There's also a CSV here that you could use to drop into an ERP, wherever you need to use a CSV file. And then the EagleView XML is here as well. So I'm going to open up the takeoff report because that is what we are most interested in for this is the bidding and estimation, and show you what a takeoff report from our tool looks like. This is the Roofing Passport takeoff report. So here is the cover sheet. It does say Roofing Passport takeoff report on it. And then there's a job detail here. Because I'm an admin, this information is not filled in. It would be filled in for our customers. It would tell me my EagleView job number. It would tell me my Roofing Works job number. So if I ever needed to refer back to those, I have those. It would tell me who my supplier is, if it was one of our OEMs, what kind of system panel profile I had entered in here, how much my roof area is total in square feet. So we come down here and there's a summary, gives you all the stuff that you're used to seeing as far as a takeoff goes. Your head wall, your sidewall, rake, your eaves, valleys, hips, ridges, all of that here in linear feet. Then we come down to the part that everybody loves, the cut list. How much are we going to need and how many are we going to need? So that goes through every part and piece that is required for this surface area of this roof. How many you need, how many linear feet it is, how many square feet it totals. And this one is a large one, so there's a lot of pages of these panels that we'll go through here. But once you get down past the panels, you'll start seeing the list that has all your trim, accessories, underlayment, screws, caps, all the things that you need here. So here's your parts and pieces, clips, clip fasteners, flashing, caulk, everything. It's all going to be here. So you've got everything you need in front of you to do a bid or an estimation based on this roof that we put in. And you can go to your OEM. If your metal supplier is not already part of participating in the Roofing Passport program, you can take this direct to your metal supplier and get a cost. I told you this was a big one. This is a
wow.
big
Yeah.
multi-roof job here. So it's the same roof, but a lot of parts and pieces here.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
Everything's bigger in Texas. So here's the top view down of it. It will show you this is a very, very large home on a lake. It was an actual customer that was looking to re-roof this. This build has been around for a while, and they were wanting to switch from asphalt to metal. So that's the reason why this exists. Then you do get your individual panel layout. It comes with your takeoff report, all your eave detail, anything you need to see as far as visuals are here. Of course, we have the not for construction labeled on there because this is a representation, of course. So everything that you need, then you're back to the end. This is the Roofing Passport disclaimer, of course. And if you have any questions, here is the support. This is very helpful to have. The support at Roofing Passport at Sherwin.com. If you run into any issues while you're running your takeoff, this would be who you would reach out to. Here's the address where we went into Roofing Passport. You could go back there. That's all the cool things that happen as far as who you can contact if you run into any issues. It's on your takeoff.
Yeah. Wow, that is incredible. This is the first time I'm seeing the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's very impressive. And in addition to, I mean, the professionalism and the presentation, to be able to share that with that homeowner is going to give
Yes.
them the confidence in your company because, wow, look at that. What you use the latest technology to prepare their job.
Right.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
Yeah. Wow. I love it.
And yay, it worked.
Definitely. We're happy about that because that's why we're here is we wanted to talk about the roofing passport. And the roofing passport is not new. It's been around for a while, but it's recently been probably refreshed, improved. And so it looks amazing. And the finished report looked incredible too. So congratulations on that. That's a lot of work that went into that.
We have within the core MetalVue team, but also within Sherwin-Williams, we have great cross-functional teammates, right? So I mean, it's all about continuous improvement. We're always trying to figure out ways to bring value to contractors, try to improve the experience, Roofing Passport and MetalVue as a whole. So any feedback is always taken into consideration. But it's a good challenge. We just want to make sure that we provide value to the contractors out there today.
Yeah, yeah. And wow, you guys, it's almost like we planned this because that was like the perfect segue into the MetalVue program, which you just mentioned. And let's tell everybody out there what MetalVue is. And, Roofing Passport is this software that is part of the MetalVue program. So, Junny.
Right. Absolutely. And depending on who you ask on the team, right? Brendan might call MetalVue as the race car and Roofing Passport's the engine. Christian might say that MetalVue is Microsoft Office and Roofing Passport is Excel. Depending on the day, I don't know which one it is. But anyways, no, MetalVue is a suite of services that we put together to benefit the contractors. So anyone that wants to start offering metal or maybe increase their metal offerings or maybe move away from asphalt to metal, whatever scenario it is, we want to make sure that they feel supported and that they have the right resources needed to be successful in the metal space. So Heather just demoed Roofing Passport. That's amazing. Like that is the tool that I believe contractors should utilize to improve their business offerings. Training, John Sheridan. Lead generation, Upload. I mean, I'm just going to go through the list and just name each partner that we have brought in. Visualizer, RentalWorks, Business Solutions, you got Stonegate Consulting, you got all the various trade shows that we're a part of. You got also probably very important is the Watts removal products, right? It's the only cleaning product out there today that can be used on our coating that will maintain the warranty that comes with the coil coating. Networking, Metal Coffee Shop. We got the various organizations out there, Metal Roofing Alliance, Metal Construction Alliance, National Women in Roofing, right? And then coil coatings expertise, you have people like Heather. I've learned a lot from her in the last year. There are a lot of people within our coil division that are willing to share what they've learned over the years. And I think that's something that's I don't think it should be taken lightly. I think it's something that should be really respected, and I think it's something that makes our culture in coil so very, very enjoyable to work in.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're sitting in front of a MetalVue background right now, Junny. So yeah, that's cool. MetalVue really, when I said earlier, you guys, you listed some of your partners, you really went out into the industry and you researched and you've talked to people and you vetted their services and you put together what you feel is the best
Yes.
that there is out there to offer. So you've taken that. A lot of times that can be a challenge for contractors is figuring out who do I work with? Well, you've done that for them.
Absolutely. And EagleView, right? They're number one in their industry, in their space. On the CRM side, if folks need a CRM, we have GiddyUp, great partner of ours too. Very, very capable of what they do. They're architects. They can build things easily on the technical side. A lot of stuff just goes way over my head. But yes, we want to make sure if we want to be industry leaders in our industry, we want to make sure that the people that we work with are also leaders in their respective space. But also, just important, we look at the people leading each organization, and I think that's a big thing that tends to get overlooked at times.
Yeah. Yeah. Heather, what are you hearing feedback from contractors about the Roofing Passport and about the MetalVue program?
So MetalVue as a whole, what I hear is like when you present it to them, contractors say, so it's like a toolbox. So we put it into terms that are relatable to what a contractor does, right? It's like a toolbox. You know, you can go in and you can find a flathead screwdriver, you can find a Phillips screwdriver. There are different tools for each part of what you do. And MetalVue, the feedback we get, it's not like you have to have the whole pie. You can take a piece of the pie. You can take what is pertains to your business and what your business needs are. But as Junny has said, as you have said, we went out and got the best of the best. We did the homework for you. So if you come to me and you say, hey, I need a CRM, I can point you in the right direction. If you come to me and you say, I need a visualizer, I can point you in the right direction. We don't require you to use any of these things, but we've done the homework. And it just makes it a lot easier for them to have a point of contact under one umbrella to call up and say, hey, I know I'm using Roofing Passport. I know you've got this program called MetalVue, and I need X, Y, or Z. And I can guarantee you I can give you X, Y, or Z. So that's what we've done, is done the homework for you, put it in a nice toolbox, and you can reach in that toolbox anytime you need to. Anytime you need to reach in and pull something out, it could be now, it could be 6 months from now, it could be 2 years from now. And you say, hey, I've realized now that I do need to start networking more and be more involved in National Women in Roofing. Mm-hmm. We've got that connection. Coil coatings expertise. If you have an issue that comes up somewhere along the line and you need to know more details specifically about testing, about any kind of capabilities that the coating is, we have that expertise in our toolbox and we can point you in the right direction. And the feedback from contractors thus far has been very positive about these things, just because it has taken their time away, given them their time back that they would have to take away from going out and bidding and estimating and putting roofs on and making money to research these things. We've already done it for you. And Sherwin is a trusted brand, so they trust what we're putting forth and know that we're not going to jeopardize our reputation. So therefore, you're not going to be jeopardizing your reputation.
Yeah. Yeah, you really made it easy. It's kind of I like the analogy of the toolbox, and there's all these tools inside, and you can pick and choose which ones are going to work for you. Yeah, you've made it easy, truly an easy button. So let's talk then about getting started. Junny.
Okay.
Heather,
you want me to go?
Take
Junny, you want to go?
No, go ahead, Heather. It's all you. It's all you.
Once I started talking, I can't shut up. So training and onboarding, there are lots of ways to go about this. You can access the Roofing Passport demo. You can access me direct, and there are all kinds of ways to do that. You can go to the www.roofingpassport.com, which would probably be the easiest way. And there is a contact us on there. You can do that. And that will come direct to me, Junny, and our team, and somebody will reach out to you. As far as training goes, we will talk through what parts and pieces of the training you need. If you need training on Roofing Passport itself, we will get you set up with somebody that can train you. If you need training on metal roofing installation, we will hook you up with John Sheridan. If you need sales training, we can do that. We have people that we've partnered with that can give you sales training if you need salespeople to go out and you don't have sales training. The growth benefits are huge for metal. We see it everywhere. And we would love to partner with anybody that wants to either grow their business or even get started in it. So I just got the notification that my battery's running low and it's probably going to die.
Ooh.
So even though it's
Okay.
plugged in,
If we lose you, Heather, we'll know why.
yeah, it's plugged
because
in.
I want to spend just a couple minutes here toward the end because of the timing, right? Today is September 24th. In 1 month, even a couple days less than 1 month, we're going to be at MetalCon in Las Vegas. It's October 21st through 23rd. And thank you, Sherwin-Williams, for sponsoring our sound stage that we're going to have there, and our Total Experience Pass giveaway, which we announced the winners this morning. But I would like you just to highlight what you'll be doing at MetalCon and what contractors could expect to see there from MetalVue and with Roofing Passport. This might be, if they're curious and interested, this could be the place for them to check it out.
Yeah. What aren't we doing? So for sure, we'll be running demos the entire time. I think for folks who are attending MetalCon, it's a great opportunity to meet the rest of the team. So you got Brendan McGinnis, who is our OEM program manager on the MetalVue team. He'll be running demos, and then Christian Zemprich, our sales director, will also be on site as well. So yeah, at any given moment, I can provide you with the booth number, but at any given moment, please feel free to stop by and we can showcase you a demo. We got some training going on too with Sheridan Metal Resources at the MetalCon training zone, and of course we'll do some sound stage interviews at Metal Coffee Shop as well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Generally, when we're at these shows, we're also surrounded by our partners. So not only will you be able to get to witness the demo in person, but you can also speak with our partners as well. Meet folks from GiddyUp, EagleView, Watts Removal Products. So it's a great time. It's a great opportunity to showcase what MetalVue is all about.
Yeah, yeah. And if you're watching this or you're watching on demand and maybe MetalCon's over, just go to metalcoffeeshop.com because there's a full directory on there for the MetalVue program, and there's directories for all of those partners that we were mentioning earlier that are a part of MetalVue. So you can learn more about those companies and find information on how to get started. So before we wrap things up, I just want to check and see if we've got any questions out there. I have not seen any come in, but give me 2 seconds. Heather, I'm glad we still have you. You got plugged in.
I think I found another plug. We'll see if that works.
Nice.
Excellent. All right. Well, I do not have any questions that came in. So we'll just go ahead and wrap this up. And thank you to Sherwin-Williams. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Junny, for being here. This was a great demo. It was a great conversation. And we hope that all you watching out there get signed up and get involved with the program. Thanks for being here, guys.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen.
All right. Yeah. And so we hope to see you on a future RLW. This will be on demand on Roofers Coffee Shop under the Read, Listen, Watch menu. So check it out when you have time. We'll see you next time. Bye.